Life is not easy. It never was, and it never will be. The moment you step into this world, you are stepping into a battlefield. Some people avoid the fight. Some give up too soon. But then there are the warriors, the ones who take the hits, who fall but rise again, who walk through the fire and come out stronger. The hardest battles create the strongest warriors. And tonight, I'm talking to the warriors. When the lights are bright, when everything is going your way, it's easy to walk tall. It's easy to smile, to be confident, to believe in yourself. But that's not where your true character is built. That's not where you find out who you really are. No, that happens when life grabs you by the collar, shoves you to the ground, and demands to know what you're made of. That's when you find out if you've got the heart, the grit, the will to get back up. Pressure will do one of two things. It will break you, or it will reveal you. And I don't mean the version of you that smiles for the cameras, the version of you that says all the right things when people are watching. I mean the real you, the one who's still standing after the storm, the one who refuses to let life dictate the outcome. Adversity doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care where you come from, how much talent you have, how many times you've won before. When adversity knocks, the only thing that matters is what's inside of you. Will you make excuses? Will you fold under the weight? Or will you rise? Will you fight? Will you stare it down and say, "You're not taking me out today"? Because that's what separates those who just exist from those who truly live. It's in those moments, when the odds are stacked against you, when nothing is going your way, when the pain feels unbearable, that you have to make a choice to fight through it, to push past it, to refuse to let it define you. Some people let adversity make them bitter. They let it break their spirit. But the strongest among us, they let it sharpen them. They let it mold them into something greater. Think about the stories of the greats, the ones who changed the game, the ones who defied the odds. None of them had an easy path. None of them were handed success. They were tested, they were knocked down. They faced rejection, failure, and pain. But they didn't quit. They didn't make excuses. They didn't look for a way out. They stood up, bruised, bleeding, but still standing. And that's why they became legends. So ask yourself, when the pressure is on, who will you be? When life gets hard, when nothing is going right, will you be the one who gives in or the one who fights back? Because I promise you this, you are stronger than you think. You have more in you than you realize. But you'll never know until you're tested. You'll never know until life demands to see what you're made of. So let adversity come. Let it try to break you. Let it push you to your limits. And then show it who you are. Stand up, wipe the blood from your face, and say, "I'm still here." Because that's when you find out, when the world is against you, when everything seems lost, that's when you meet the real you. And that's the you who cannot be stopped. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is not some cruel force sent to break you, to steal your joy, to leave you empty. No, pain has a purpose. It is a teacher, the professor of life. And if you listen, if you really listen, you'll realize that every struggle, every heartbreak, every setback is shaping you into the person you're meant to be. You see, most people run from pain. They do everything they can to avoid it. They numb it, deny it, hide from it. But here's the truth. There is no greatness without pain. There is no growth without struggle. You don't build muscle without resistance. You don't build wisdom without mistakes. And you don't build character without adversity. Pain is life's way of molding you, refining you, making you stronger, sharper, wiser. But only if you're willing to learn. Because pain doesn't just show up for no reason. It comes with a message. It comes to teach you discipline when you want to take the easy way out. It comes to teach you patience when you want things to happen faster than they should. It comes to teach you strength when life feels unbearable. It is there to teach. But the question is, are you paying attention? Look back at your life. Think about the moments that tested you, the moments that broke you down, the moments you thought you wouldn't survive. And yet, here you are, stronger, wiser, more resilient than before. That's not an accident. That's pain doing its work. That's struggle forcing you to dig deeper, to fight harder, to push past your limits. That's pain shaping you into someone who refuses to quit. Every time you fall, pain is right there whispering, "Get up." Every time you fail, it's telling you, "Learn." Every time you think you can't take any more, pain is saying, "Grow." Because it's not here to destroy you, it's here to prepare you. It's making sure that when your moment comes, when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready. See, the people who truly succeed in life, the ones who rise above, the ones who leave their mark, they don't avoid pain, they embrace it. They understand that pain is not the end of the road, it's part of the journey. They don't let it make them bitter, they let it make them better. They take the lessons, they use the struggle, and they turn it into fuel. So the next time you're hurting, the next time life knocks you flat on your back, don't just cry about it, don't just complain about it. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? What lesson is hidden in this struggle? What strength am I gaining from this? Because pain will do one of two things. It will either break you or it will build you, and the choice is yours. So stand up, learn, grow, and let pain do what it was meant to do, turn you into something greater than you ever imagined. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to be stronger, smarter, better. But when it comes time to do the work, when it comes time to endure the struggle, to feel the pain, to step into the unknown, that's when most people turn back. Because growth isn't easy. It isn't comfortable. It doesn't happen when things are smooth. When life is easy, when you're sitting back with no pressure, no challenge, no resistance. Growth is found in discomfort. It's found in those moments when you want to quit, but decide to keep going. It's found in the struggle, in the sweat, in the sacrifice. You don't build muscle without resistance. You don't get stronger without pushing past your limits. The gym hurts before you get stronger. The weight feels impossible before you learn how to lift it. The same is true in life. Every challenge you face, every obstacle in your path, it's there to test you, to stretch you, to force you to become more. And the question is, will you embrace it or will you run from it? See, too many people want the reward without the process. They want success without struggle. They want the growth without the discomfort. But that's not how life works. You want to be smarter? You've got to push yourself to learn, to study, to absorb knowledge, even when your brain is tired, even when you'd rather be doing something easy. You want to be great at something? You've got to practice day after day, when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody cares. Because that's what it takes. Climbing is hard before you reach the top. The journey is exhausting. Your legs burn, your lungs scream, your body begs you to stop. But if you keep moving, if you keep pushing, one step at a time, suddenly you look back and realize how far you've come. The struggle makes sense, because everything you went through prepared you for where you are. Stop running from discomfort. Stop avoiding the work. Stop looking for shortcuts. Growth isn't free. It costs something. It costs effort. It costs pain. It costs sacrifice. That's the price you pay to evolve. That's the price you pay to become who you're meant to be. When life gets tough, when the pressure is on, when you feel like giving up, that is the moment when you are growing. That is the moment when the weak give up and the strong push forward. And that moment right there is the difference between those who stay the same and those who rise. So don't fear the discomfort. Don't run from the struggle. Lean into it, embrace it, let it shape you. Because every ounce of effort, every drop of sweat, every late night, early morning, every sacrifice, it all adds up, it all matters. And one day you'll stand at the top of that mountain and you'll know it was all worth it. You will fail. Oh, you will fail. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. That's life. That's the journey. But failure is not final. It's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of something greater. Because every setback, every loss, every disappointment is not there to destroy you. It is there to set you up for a comeback. Think about every great success story you've ever heard. Every champion, every legend, every person who ever changed the world. None of them had a perfect road. They all had moments when they were knocked down, when they felt defeated, when the world told them no. But the difference between those who make it and those who don't is one simple thing. They refuse to stay down. Failure will test you. It will shake you. It will make you question everything, your ability, your dreams, your worth. It will make you feel like giving up. But in that moment, when you're at your lowest, when the weight of the world is pressing down on you, you have a choice. You can accept defeat or you can rise. You can let failure break you or you can let it build you. You can say this is the end or you can say this is just the beginning. Every time you fall, tell yourself, this is not where my story ends. Say it out loud, this is not where my story ends. Because setbacks are not there to stop you, they are there to strengthen you. They are there to teach you, to mold you, to prepare you for what's next. Every struggle, every loss, every time you thought you couldn't go on but you did, that was the foundation of your comeback. That was the moment you became unshakable. Look at the greatest athletes, the greatest leaders, the greatest minds. None of them got to the top without falling first. The greatest basketball players in the world missed thousands of shots before they became legends. The greatest entrepreneurs lost millions before they made billions. The greatest actors, writers, musicians, you name it, were rejected, laughed at, and told no more times than you could count. But they kept going. They got back up. They looked failure in the face and said, watch me. You will have moments when you feel like life is against you, when nothing seems to be working, when every door is slamming in your face. And in those moments, you must remember, this is just part of the journey. This is where you dig deep. This is where you show the world and yourself what you're made of. Because the people who make it aren't the ones who never fail. They are the ones who never fail. They are the ones who take the pain, take the losses, take the heartbreak, and use it as fuel. They turn their setbacks into comebacks. So the next time you fall, don't stay down, get up, wipe the dust off, look at that challenge, that failure, that disappointment, and smile. Because it's not the end. It's just the setup for your greatest comeback. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. You don't learn strength in comfort. You don't build resilience in ease. If life was easy, you'd be soft. You wouldn't know how to fight. You wouldn't know how to stand when everything around you is trying to knock you down. But the storm is where you're made. The storm is where you find out who you really are. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants greatness. But what most people don't understand is that true strength is not built when the sun is shining and the road is clear. True strength is built in the chaos, in the struggle, in the nights when you don't know if you can keep going. It's built when life pushes you to the edge, when you feel like you have nothing left and you still find a way to rise. That's where resilience is forged. The storm will come. That's a guarantee. There will be moments in your life when everything seems to go wrong, when the weight is too heavy, when you feel like you're drowning. And in those moments, you have two choices. You can break or you can bend. You can let life crush you, or you can stand in the storm and say, I will not be moved. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about getting back up again and again and again. It's about standing in the middle of the chaos, feeling the wind, the rain, the pressure, and refusing to give up. Because every time you survive a storm, every time you push through, you are not the same person you were before. You are stronger, wiser, more unshakable than ever. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who inspire you, the ones who seem to walk through fire and come out untouched. Do you think they got there by avoiding struggle? No, they got there because they faced it, because they embraced it, because they learned to navigate the storm instead of running from it. The truth is, you don't grow when things are easy. You don't find out what you're made of when there's no pressure, no challenge, no adversity. The storm is your training ground. The struggle is your teacher. And every battle you face is preparing you for something greater. So don't fear the storm. Don't curse the wind. Don't ask for an easy life. Ask for the strength to endure a hard one. Ask for the courage to keep going when most people would quit. Because the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, it's not luck, it's resilience. It's the willingness to stand firm when everything is telling you to fall. One day, you'll look back on every storm you survived, every hardship you endured, and you'll realize they didn't break you, they built you. They shaped you into the person you were always meant to be. So embrace the storm. It's making you unstoppable. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not out there in the world. It's not against your competition. It's not against the obstacles in your way. No, the greatest battle is in your mind. That's where the war is won or lost. Because before you ever take a step toward your dream, before you ever put in the work, before you ever rise to greatness, your mind will decide whether you can or you can't. And if you let doubt, fear, and hesitation control that space, you've already lost. Doubt will whisper you can't. It will creep into your thoughts. When you're tired, when you've failed, when things don't go as planned, it will remind you of your past mistakes, of your shortcomings, of all the reasons why you should quit. Fear will stand next to doubt and say, what if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? What if it's all for nothing? And if you listen, if you give those voices power, they will paralyze you. They will steal your future before you even take the first step. But your mind is your weapon. It is your greatest tool, your sharpest sword, your most powerful shield. And like any weapon, it must be trained, it must be sharpened, it must be strengthened every single day. Because a weak mind will collapse under pressure, but a strong mind will carry you through any storm, any hardship, any challenge that dares stand in your way. So train it, feed it with belief. Every morning, before you even step out into the world, decide who you are. Decide what you stand for. Fill your mind with thoughts that serve you, thoughts that build you, thoughts that make you unstoppable. Speak life into yourself. Tell yourself, I can, I will, I must. Because if you don't control your thoughts will control you. Feed your mind with resilience. Life will test you. You will face rejection. You will face failure. You will have moments when everything feels like it's falling apart. But in those moments, your mindset will determine whether you stay down or rise again. A weak mind will look at failure and say, this is the end. A strong mind will look at failure and say, this is just the beginning. A strong mind will see a setback and turn it into a setup for a comeback. And let me tell you this, if you win in your mind, you will win in life. Because when your mind is unshakable, nothing can break you. No words, no setbacks, no doubts. Nothing can stop you from reaching your destiny. The world belongs to those who refuse to let fear and doubt write their story. So guard your mind, strengthen it, train it like a warrior preparing for battle. Because that battle is coming. And when it does, the question is not whether the world will try to break you. The question is, will your mind be strong enough to stand? You don't even know how strong you are yet. You haven't seen the full version of yourself. The person you are today is just scratching the surface of your true potential. But life has a way of showing you what you're made of. It will push you, test you, stretch you until you feel like you're at your breaking point. And in that moment, you will have a choice. Will you crumble under the pressure? Or will you rise and discover the strength that has been inside you all along? Most people never find out how strong they really are because the moment things get hard, they quit. They let the pain convince them that they've reached their limit. They let fear talk them out of their own greatness. But limits are not real. They exist only in the mind. What you think is your breaking point is often just the threshold of your breakthrough. If you keep going, if you push just a little further, you will see you are built for this. You are stronger than your circumstances. Whatever you're facing right now, no matter how impossible it feels, you have everything inside you to overcome it. You've survived things you thought would destroy you. You've walked through storms that tried to break you, and yet here you are, still standing. That is proof Proof that you are not weak. Proof that you are not defeated. Proof that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You are stronger than your fears. Fear is nothing but a liar. It will tell you that you can't, that you're not ready, that you're not good enough. But fear has no power unless you give it power. Every time you choose to step forward despite the fear, every time you choose courage over comfort, you take that power back. You prove to yourself that fear is just an illusion standing between you and your destiny. You are stronger than you ever imagined. There is a fire inside you that you haven't even tapped into yet, a power that only reveals itself when you refuse to give up. The moment you stop running from challenges and start embracing them, you will see what you're truly made of. And when you look back, you'll realize that every struggle, every setback, every painful moment was shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. So stop underestimating yourself. Stop playing small. Stop believing the lie that you are not enough. You have everything you need already inside you. Strength, courage, resilience. You were built for this. Life is going to test you. It's going to demand everything from you. And when that moment comes, I need you to remember one thing. You are stronger than you think. And when you finally see it for yourself, nothing in this world will be able to stop you. Look around you. Look at the people in your life. Because whether you realize it or not, they are shaping you. They are influencing your mindset, your habits, your drive. And let me tell you something. You cannot be a warrior if you are surrounded by cowards. You cannot be strong if you are surrounded by weakness. The people you allow into your circle will either lift you higher or pull you down. And if they're not making you better, they're making you worse. Too many people surround themselves with comfort. They choose company that makes them feel safe, unchallenged, stagnant. But comfort doesn't build warriors. Struggle does. Resistance does. You need people in your life who will challenge you, push you, hold you accountable. People who won't let you settle for mediocrity. Because if you surround yourself with the weak, their weakness will become yours. If you spend your time with people who make excuses, before you know it, you'll be making excuses too. If you listen to people who are afraid to take risks, you'll start believing that playing small is the way to live. But warriors sharpen each other. They don't let each other quit. They don't let each other make excuses. They don't sit around complaining about what they can't do. They get up and do something about it. Iron sharpens iron. And if you want to be sharp, you need to be around people who refuse to let you stay dull. People who will tell you the truth even when it's hard to hear. People who will push you beyond your limits because they see the greatness in you even when you don't see it in yourself. That's the kind of circle you need. You need people who hold you to a higher standard. People who won't let you settle for anything less than your best. You need people who are hungry. Hungry for growth, hungry for success, hungry to become the best version of themselves. Because that hunger, it's contagious. When you surround yourself with warriors, their strength becomes your strength. Their discipline becomes your discipline. Their mindset becomes your mindset. And let me tell you something. When you have a strong circle, you become unstoppable. Because no matter how tough life gets, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you will have people around you who remind you who you are, who remind you what you're capable of, who refuse to let you quit. So take a good look at your circle. If they are not pushing you, if they are not challenging you, if they are not making you better, then they are making you weaker. And you don't have time for that. Your destiny is too important. Your purpose is too great. Find warriors. Find people who sharpen you. Find people who make you stronger, who make you wiser, who make you better. Because when you surround yourself with warriors, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Why do you fight? Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you push yourself when quitting would be easier? Because let me tell you something. The road ahead isn't smooth. It's rough, it's steep, it's full of obstacles designed to break you. And when the battle gets hard, and it will, the only thing that will keep you moving forward is your purpose, your reason. If you don't have a reason, you won't last. If you don't have something deep inside you driving you forward, the first setback will knock you out. The first failure will convince you to stop. The first sign of struggle will have you questioning if it's even worth it. But when your reason is strong, when your purpose is bigger than the pain, there is nothing that can break you. Nothing. Because people don't quit because it's too hard. They quit because their reason isn't strong enough. So what's your reason? What's the thing that will make you keep going when everything in you is screaming to stop? Because that's what separates those who make it from those who don't. Not talent, not luck. Purpose. Purpose is the fuel that keeps you moving when the road gets dark, when the weight gets heavy, when the odds seem impossible. And I'll tell you this, your purpose has to be personal. It can't just be about money. It can't just be about impressing people. That won't sustain you when life gets real. It has to be something deep. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you can. Maybe it's breaking a cycle, building a legacy, making sure your family never struggles the way you did. Maybe it's showing the world that you are more than what they expected. Whatever it is, you have to lock onto it, hold it close, let it become the fire that keeps burning even when the storms come. Because storms will come, pain will come, setbacks will come. But those who have purpose, real purpose, don't stop when they get tired. They stop when they're done. They stop when they've fulfilled their calling. So ask yourself, why am I here? What am I fighting for? Because if you don't have an answer, you need to find one. And when you find it, you hold on to it with everything you've got. Because that purpose, that's what will make you unstoppable. That's what will give you the strength to push through the failures, the critics, the doubt, the fear. There's something inside you that was meant to be realized. A dream, a goal, a mission. And life is going to throw everything it can at you to see if you're serious about it. If your reason is weak, you'll fold. But if your purpose is strong, if your why is bigger than your pain, then nothing will be able to stop you. The battle is long, the journey is hard. There will be days when you feel like you can't take another step, when the weight of the struggle feels too heavy, when every voice in your head is telling you to stop. But listen to me. Victory does not belong to the strongest, the fastest, or the most talented. Victory belongs to the ones who refuse to quit. The ones who get up one more time than they fall. The ones who keep pushing when every fiber of their being is screaming for them to give up. Look at history. Look at the ones who made it, the ones who built something great, the ones who defied the odds. It was never about talent alone. It was never about natural gifts. It was about the fire inside them that refused to be put out. They stumbled, they fell, they failed. Oh, they failed. But they got back up again and again and again. Because quitting, that's easy. Anyone can quit. Anyone can walk away when it gets too hard. But warriors, true warriors, don't quit. They fight, even when they're tired, even when they're bleeding, even when the finish line seems 1,000 miles away. They fight because they know that the only way to lose is to stop. You've come too far to give up now. You've fought through too much to turn back. You think the road is hard? Good. It's supposed to be. Anything worth having comes with a fight. Every dream, every goal, every victory, it all comes at a price. And that price is perseverance. That price is your willingness to keep moving forward when most people would turn around. It's not about feeling strong all the time. It's not about being fearless. It's about making the choice every single day to keep going, no matter how hard it gets. Because victory doesn't go to the one who had an easy road. It goes to the one who stayed in the fight when it got tough. It goes to the one who kept showing up even on the days when they felt like they had nothing left. So when life knocks you down, when you feel like you can't take another hit, remember this: the battle isn't over until you say it's over. The journey isn't finished until you decide to stop walking. And as long as there is breath in your body, as long as there is fight left in your spirit, you are still in the game. Keep going, keep pushing, keep fighting, because the ones who win, the ones who truly win, are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who never stop. You will be tested, you will struggle, but in the end, you will rise because you are a warrior. And the hardest battles create the strongest. Now go out there and fight like one.